You don't have to house hack. Obviously, I love house hacking and I think everybody should do it, but it's not right for absolutely everyone. So just a quick recap, what house hacking is buying a property and renting out the space that you're not using. So that could be a single family house and you rent out the rooms, a multi-unit property and you live in one unit and rent out the others, or let's say you put an ADU in the backyard of your single family. Either live in the ADU or live in the house and rent out the other space. But it's not right for everybody. Who it is right for is somebody who just wants to get started and wants to put 3 to 5% down to buy a home that they could make a rental property as soon as a year after living in it. So live in it for a year, move out. You can do that 10 times and you can get down payments down to 3 to 5% on rental properties after a year. Well, let's say you don't want to do that. That's totally okay. Lots of people don't want to house hack. They don't want to share space. They don't want to live in a duplex, or they don't want an ADU in their backyard where somebody's coming and going. It's not as bad as people think it is, but if you've got the money and you don't need to do it, don't do it. So the people that not house hacking might be right for, so saying you should not house hack. So let's say you've got a lot of money or you already really like where you live and you don't want to move. If you have enough money to make a 20 to 25% down payment on a rental property, so think 20% single family, 25% multifamily, then there's no reason to house hack. If you've got more money than you'll ever need, live in the house you want and start putting down those down payments on rental properties. Again, you can get 30-year fixed rate loans for 20 to 25% down on up to 10 properties. So you can do this quite a few times. And then you can go to local banks and start getting financing after that. But those 10 loans are going to be your best options. So let's say you don't have all the cash in the world, but you still don't want a house hack. There are some other options. So number one would be get a partner. Find a partner with money that doesn't want to do all the work or can't find the deal, and bring an equity partner in to be your partner when you're buying rental properties. It's a very common strategy. Lots of people do this. Of course, you want to be very careful when picking partners because you're essentially getting married with this property. And if things don't work out, it can be rough. Make sure you put all the documents together. You put an operating agreement. You agree on where you're going and what the goals are and what you're going to do with the property so you don't have issues down the road. And you still might have issues, but you're much less likely to have them when you have a good operating agreement together and your interests are aligned as partners. Both agree on where you're going. Number two, you could get private money loans. So let's say you know somebody who's got a fair amount of money and would love to make a double-digit return on it. So you say, hi, Bill. Hey, I know you've got 300-400 grand sitting in the bank. Why don't you loan me that 400 grand and I'll pay you 10%. So maybe you buy a property, you fix it up, then you refinance it with none of your own money in it or small amounts of your own money in it. That's the BRRRR strategy. I've done a lot of that and it's really good for borrowing from other people, doing all the work yourself, and then you refinance that property later on. Great strategy. Awesome way to build a portfolio without a lot of your own money. You're gonna need somebody's money, but it doesn't have to be your own money. Next way you can do it, so let's say you live in that house that you really like, you say, hey, my house is awesome. This is something my business partner's done a lot of. You can get a line of credit on your primary residence and use that to help build a rental portfolio, either the traditional way or through the BRRRR strategy. And you might be thinking, why would you not do the BRRRR strategy? It's challenging. You have to find great deals. You have to find great contractors at great prices. It's absolutely an excellent strategy to do, but there's nothing wrong with the traditional way of putting down payments to buy rental property. Now remember, when you do this with the line of credit on your home, you're going to have a strategy and a plan to pay off that line of credit because that's a variable rate of interest and it's on your primary residence. You want to make very sure that you've got a good plan on how you're going to pay back that money relatively quickly and not just leave it out there hanging to go wherever the rate goes. I like lines of credit for fast money or short-term money. I don't like them for long-term. So if you're going to use the traditional method, make sure you have a plan to pay that line of credit back relatively quickly. With the BRRRR method, your plan to pay it back is the refinance. So again, house hacking isn't for everybody. I think it's the best strategy to get started, especially when you don't have a lot of money like I did when I got started, but it's not for everyone. And for whatever reason, if you can't or won't or are not able to do it, there are other options, and you can absolutely be a real estate investor too.